Yeah, I'm ready. Wait, what did MJ say we're calling this again? Oh, right. No, I got it. I know we're live. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. Live. In person, live Raw. Welcome back to News of My Fiance, Raw, live, in person, live Raw, with Morgan Jones and myself, DJ Ambush. We are back reporting live from the 5-alarm fire that is indeed Portland, Oregon. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your support. Be a part of the text chat fam squad and join the conversation. We are currently broadcasting on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube right now. Yeah. Possibly Instagram after the break.
So many places.
Shout
out to our studio sponsors, L&J Industries, for providing this dope space each week. Shout out to our production team, Kyle of Residual Audio, Jess and Ross, and our remote quality controller, Michelle.
Hey.
For making sure that this show happens every single Monday. And of course, shout out to y'all for watching, listening, engaging with us.
Yes. Now, before we get started, want to make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff. The engagement is great. Make sure you ring that bell. So on nights like this, when we're starting a little bit late, you get notified. And we want to make sure the algorithm does notice us. Become a member over at patreon.com/newsofmyfiance to support our ever-expanding show. We just want to be able to pay the bills and, keep chatting it up with you guys every week. So, let's get this quality time cracking.
Let's go.
Okay. All right. What up, though? It feels like it's been forever, but it's only been a week. But a lot has happened.
Like forever.
We've had snow apocalypses.
It's true.
A lot's been going on.
Maybe more like a snowmageddon. I'm not sure.
Okay.
What to call it. It was snow.
Yeah, definitely.
It was short-lived. It was...
I'm hoping it was enough to satiate Brianna's hunger for snow.
Definitely not.
I really do.
Definitely not going to be enough.
Okay.
Not even close.
What up, Cliff?
Hey. Hi, Cliff.
Speaking of which, and I got to remember to plug this at the intermission and at the end of the show. This Sunday, we got No Requests over at White Eagle. It is our De La Dilla tribute that we do every year. This is our third year. It's absolutely amazing.
Every February.
Every February.
Yeah.
That's what we do. So it's from 6 to 9. Make sure you come through. Cliff absolutely killed it last night at Soulful Sounds.
Soulful Sundays?
Soulful Sundays, yes. Listen, it was the wrap up. We're closing out the night. The band's doing its thing. Breaking down. Switch over to Cliff. Cliff goes ham.
In the breakdown?
In the breakdown. Cliff starts spinning like he doesn't have work in the morning. It starts ramping up.
He was doing his work in the morning.
It starts ramping up. And I'm like, So now I'm taking forever to wrap my cables. It's just like, woo. Because at this point.
So a good, that's distracting to you? It doesn't help you get.
So what ended up happening, we were still recording. So I started moving cameras around to capture Cliff. I'm repositioning cameras.
Oh, wow.
I'm still recording the audio.
You didn't have work in the morning.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay.
It was great. It was absolutely just, super dope. So yeah, got me hyped, got me ready for this coming Sunday. And we're giving away some posters. We're making this our thing going into year 3. Starting to do more giveaways and stuff. Shout out to Aaron over at 503 Records. For any record collectors, any vinyl enthusiasts, Aaron will be joining us each month with a crate of records for our themed months. So with De La and Dilla being the theme, he'll be bringing a crate of records of either their projects or things sampled by them, but it'll be a native tongue-esque situation there. So it's going to be dope. It's going to be really, really dope. Really dope.
Love it.
Yeah.
White Eagle, Sunday.
Boom.
6 to 9.
Absolutely.
Portland.
Talk to me about it.
Talk to me nice.
Okay.
Can we talk? Oh, wait. How does this show work again? Do we say what we're going to talk about later and then we talk about other stuff?
No, we talk about it. We say, we tell you what we say we're going to talk about later.
And then we move
on.
And
then we jump into our warm-up topics.
So let's announce what we're talking about later so we can get into our conversation.
Cool. So we got Providence agrees to resume negotiations with the striking nurses, at the urge of City Council. Medicaid and Medicare. This whole situation should radicalize you.
Things are not going well as is, and I believe they're calling this coup like a rug pull or something sweet, like real playful. It's funny that they're trying to take $888 million from the thing that helps people with no money.
It's wild. It's wild. It's wild.
I'm learning a lot about how this system works as is, and not great. Not great. Really super not great. And about to get so much worse. And I am not, in fact, a fearmongerer, but I am going to keep telling you the shit is scary.
Right. Because it is. Because it absolutely is.
And then the most important topic, I think, and, we got to really figure out how we are going to handle and place the blame for where we are right now, which begs the question, where is Kamala Harris? No, that is not the question. That is absolutely not the fucking question. But somehow it's a lot of people's questions right now.
Somehow. Yeah.
Which is, I mean, if this show had a theme this Monday, it would be, please do not let us lose the plot.
Absolutely.
Please, the distractions are vast, they are deep, they are wide. They are all the things.
Bruh.
And very easy to get stuck in a bunch of the fodder and forget that as you're looking at something like, where is Kamala?
Bruh.
While you're having an argument about that on the internet, that rat is chewing wires again.
Yeah, pretty much.
And those wires happen to get directly to your bank data that the IRS has. And we absolutely cannot move forward from the actual happenings versus really silly conversations.
Yeah. So, those are our topics for today. But
speaking of really silly conversations. Did you see the news that one Jay-Z has been exonerated?
No.
I believe is the word. Oh.
No. There was no exoneration. I did see the news. I saw that the case was withdrawn. Which
exonerated.
Which often happens when millionaires and billionaires are involved.
What?
People withdraw.
Oh, sure.
People withdraw. And I want to be clear. This isn't me acting like I got some insider information and I got some, evidence you guys aren't privy to. And I'm sticking hard like I know Jay did something he wasn't supposed to. I'm just saying, when you roll in certain circles, it's hard to stay clean. Also, you got to watch out for those reptilians there in the background. The frogs are turning gay. There's a lot of things happening right now. And as a reminder, coyotes are roaming in packs.
How long have the frogs been gay now? I
got to check with Alex. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So, I think it's been a long time. How are they still making...
How are we still getting frogs?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. There's so many species of amphibian. They're getting gayer species by not all of the frogs. Yeah. Some are gayer than others, while some are steadfast. Hey, man, don't tread on me.
Don't tread on me. I am a heterosexual frog. Thank you.
You got damn right.
Okay.
So, yeah. Anyways. Yeah, so you're saying Jay's exonerated. Cute.
Well, I mean, okay.
That's what the people say. Shout out to my homie Double E. What's good, bro?
So the headlines, and by that I really don't even mean headlines. What I mean is how people are responding to the news that this sexual assault case was dropped. And I guess, so to give this quick summary, is that the lawsuit against Jay-Z has been dropped. The plaintiff voluntarily withdrew the case with prejudice, which means that they're not going to bring this case again. And, of course, Jay-Z and his lawyer expressed all of the things that you express as a person who has now been,
exonerated. Sure. Play with it.
Well, and the tricky thing is that, exonerated in the way that these charges no longer exist. And this is not me arguing that something did, in fact, happen.
Right. I want to be clear about that.
I want to be very clear. I don't know what happened there. What I worry about, especially in moments like this, and seeing just how little we have moved the needle within grape culture, that this kind of like jubilation because a person is no longer facing something bad is interesting to me, when just take the last 10 years of information on how many powerful men, especially powerful billionaires, are able to move throughout this world lawlessly.
Right.
And to hear the language of like the system works from a person who previously understood that the system works for who it works for, and who it works for is the most powerful, and that normally is white men that are wealthy. And when it happens to extend its hand to a wealthy or powerful Black man, it now is a system that works.
Well, I mean,
I think that's wild.
Is it that anything has changed with the system?
Certainly not. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Nothing has changed with the system. The player is just different. And if you expected to see that player lose because that player is Black, you forgot that player was a Black billionaire.
Right. Right.
You forgot that player was a Black billionaire who has tentacles in all different things.
Yeah. So I think what is missing from the analysis from Jay's camp is that this same system, the same corrupt system that he used to clearly identify only worked for a certain class. Yeah. He's acting like he's not within that class. You know what I'm saying?
This is also a person who said, when did the word capitalism become
This is what
slur?
I'm saying. It's like, my guy.
Didn't we all want to be capitalists when we were growing up?
If you're able to stay home, not be in the studio, not be on tour, not putting out music, and you're just raking in the dough, your life's a little different, my guy.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot different. So trying to talk to us as if you're on your second album and relate to us that way is kind of wild.
It's wild.
It's just really wild.
It's wild. It's also wild to hear him be like that 1-800 lawyer or that ambulance chasing lawyer, when it isn't as if I don't understand why that position would be, that would be your position.
Right.
But do you also understand what it means for you to have $0 and someone take a case? Like, it's not going to be the person that you're hiring.
Right.
Who, I mean, I believe Jay-Z's lawyer has represented many a sicko. Okay. And again, I want to be very clear. This is not me saying that I know that something happened and that should have, but when you take the position that victims need to be listened to, but also what about us people, us innocent victims of this false accusation, especially with the amount of privilege that comes with being a powerful billionaire.
Right. Right.
Maybe don't act like your version of being falsely accused looks like everybody else's version of being falsely accused.
It doesn't.
Because it certainly doesn't. That's not something that everybody, we don't get to go hire the most, expensive lawyer to then handle the scandal. And I don't know why we very quickly forget that, like, people make things go away all the time. Oh, this is a problem? Gone. Like, we're not, deal with it. Like, if you think that dude hasn't said deal with this problem so I don't ever have to think about it again in some way, shape, form, or fashion, what have we learned? What do we know? Like, the things we know publicly about some of these folks that we're not taking forward into our calculations of what to think about them. You know what I mean? And I don't mean generalize all billionaires as people that blow up other people's cars. I mean, do generalize in the way of what happens mostly. What's the big key takeaway is that if you have a certain level of money, of wealth, a certain level of wealth and a certain level of power, there's not a lot that we see in the way of restraint.
No.
What we see is don't look over here, but they will literally show it to you in full display. And we are the ones who are giving them the scapegoats. They ain't even trying.
Facts.
And like somehow we are arguing for these people's innocence or not about something that be for real. What's the likelihood?
Yeah. Shout out to C's, just hopped in the chat. He said, folks are simple-minded, though, so convincing poor folks that you are like them is easy. Hey, fam.
Hi, C's.
I saw a tweet that kind of like sits in the middle of both of you guys' points. They were like, it was like coming to a necessary defense of a billionaire, poor person. It's like, why? What are we doing?
Why this time?
What's happening? What's the deal? But
there's definitely. I know why we do. Mm-hmm. We are indoctrinated to believe that billionaires are bigger, stronger, faster, better, and they must know so much more.
Right.
They must have so much more. Just knowledge about everything. You know what I mean? When in reality, these people, so many of them have been so far removed from society for their entire life that they have no idea what normal is to any of us, right? Yeah. And their normal looks nothing like any. They are on helicopters, like Secession. They are getting around New York in a helicopter.
Wow. Brought up Succession, huh?
Well, the point, what
it's almost
is
like,
anything happening in their life? Does that seem, not even a doctor appointment is like the same for us. You know what I mean? So the fact that we ever are like, one, that person's like me.
Right.
They get it.
Right.
When they say really, like, you know how long Jay-Z's been rich?
Yeah, that's the real issue. Like, especially when they see someone that came from a similar background.
You know how long?
Dr. Dre.
All of them.
Diddy, yeah.
It's like they've been rich since I was a teenager type. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, yo.
Yeah.
They have been rich longer in their life than they haven't. And I mean rich. I mean rich.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when Jay-Z is like, this thing never, like it's hard to believe that there's not something yucky out there, to be honest. And I'm not saying that there definitely is and that it's inherent. Yeah. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying y'all will give us whatever you want to out of your lives, messy or not, when you want to, when it serves a reason. Mm-hmm. And then to pretend, hands up, don't shoot. I've never done anything weird in my lifetime. Like, sir, you are with a woman you groomed. We could just stop the things.
Oh, yeesh.
If we could stop the things.
This is the warm-up. Jesus. I don't know if you know that. My word. Can we just take it back to Succession? Listen,
sure.
When you brought it up.
If you want to.
I said you brought it up, and for a second there, I just started daydreaming,
Because you want to watch it?
My eyes got a little starry. Nah, because, there were definitely moments. I was just so awestruck. I was awestruck by what that level of wealth looked like. And when you start talking about taking helicopters for brunch, I mean, jeez.
Fam, they meet on each other's islands that are also in New York somewhere.
Carbon footprint be damned.
Well,
come on. Sign me up.
Like, oh my God. Okay. C's, Cliff, come get your boy. I've had it. No, Bruce. No, Bruce, we are not doing this.
Fine.
I just don't want us to forget. Like, this isn't to say hold everybody accountable for other people's sins. The entire point is, though, should we not be taking some of these lessons forward as, whoa, this is a whole bunch of people of the same ilk being charged with the same things. Strange. And I know that part of it is the fact that a lot of y'all have done some of those things, and you're like, I ain't no rapist, Right. And I understand that. We have been living in, that's what patriarchy does. Mm-hmm. Again, I know it's a word we all hate, and it scares the pants off of you.
Hey, Reiko.
Reiko?
She's out here.
Oh my God. Hi, Reiko. I love you. I miss you. Where are you? Hi. What? Sorry. You can't hit me with names like that.
My bad.
Now I don't know where I was. Grape culture. Like we have all been indoctrinated in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and we are all in different parts of the journey of either being stuck in it or getting out of it.
Yeah.
And so there's stuff that we don't understand necessarily, wasn't great, and we may be finding that out later, which doesn't mean that you have to look at yourself as a necessary perpetrator, or someone doesn't have to necessarily look at themselves as a victim of something. What it's supposed to do is greater inform us to move forward. It does not mean that you have to never talk, I got to hide everything that I've ever done.
Right.
When, like, coercion is literally what we were taught. Like, that wasn't weird. It's, girls, you don't get to say that you want any of this anyway. So you got to be coy and you got to make them work for it. And dudes, you're going to have to work for it. Yeah.
Period.
That's just what it is. That's not how it should be. But that doesn't mean that the moves that were made previously mean that you are inherently an awful person, and understanding it now doesn't make you you don't need to go to jail for it. As long as we start to understand what this is and you don't continue to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's
this idea, like, accountability isn't a bad word, and it's not a bad thing, and it's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, accountability is, I've learned a lesson. I know what to do moving forward. That's it. I did the bad, but in instances like this and things like feeling caught up in a system of oppression and you don't know that it's that. Mm-hmm. My whole thing is, when explained, these were all things that you were indoctrinated with, and these are things that played a huge part from every part of your development. Mm-hmm. And every form of entertainment and news all of the what was she wearing was coming from your local news to a movie.
Yeah.
That wasn't weird to be asking that question. It's a wild ass question. It's certainly a wild ass place to start. And it makes the onus on the victim, on the person who has been wronged. We spent a lot of time doing that. So I absolutely understand that the change is going to be rough on a lot of folk. But at some point, let go of the fact that this isn't even you making those decisions necessarily.
Right.
This is you thinking you're doing the thing you're supposed to do. Let that shit go. Learn from it. Learn how to go forward and do that shit. And don't hold it as guilt or shame or anything like that, because that's not the point.
But that's definitely an easier said than done situation. In the way that society hasn't embraced the understanding that the systems have created these situations,
Absolutely.
right? And they put it completely on the individual. So when we're talking about accountability, for a man to be like, okay, this is the behavior that I used to exhibit in the past, they know if someone brings it up, it's not going to be, oh, well, don't charge me, charge the system. That's not happening. So the fear of whatever consequence is going to come from their past, which is part of the accountability, that fear alone is definitely going to paralyze them and put them in a place where they can't even conceive that there's a whole system at play and where they fall within that. So it's just, it's so crazy. It's not crazy, actually. It's important that we are constantly, reassessing where we are within these systems as we're along our journeys and feeling more comfortable having those conversations. Like I remember when the Aziz thing happened, one of my homies, for anyone who doesn't remember, Aziz Ansari, story came out about him sexual coercion, sexually assaulting a woman he was on a date with, and her the woman's version of the story, her telling of the story, it sounded very, very familiar to a lot of people as normal interactions with someone that you're dating and you're trying to have sex with. It was just like, oh yeah, this is what normally happens, And I had both men and women saying the same thing, like this is just normal dating stuff. And at that time, it was clear to me, like, oh snap, this is not good. This wowzers. As familiar as this is, guys, this is bad. These are things we always do. This is bad. And the person the homie I was talking to, he was like, you can't get caught up in the way that things are being redefined currently, because then you're looking at your whole past. So what does that mean? Because somebody could just pop up with an accusation and then you're looking at charges. I was like, if someone pops up with an accusation and it happened, then there's a consequence. That's it.
Right.
You don't get to pick and choose because now you're next on the line. Either it is or it isn't proper behavior. And if we can agree, no matter when it happened, no matter what decade, Quaaludes being a party drug, so Cosby should be free. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, it's not the move. It's not the move. So
another very much easier said than done.
Yeah.
That you can understand it wholly, but not for you, or,
for someone else, but not for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, I do understand the trepidation, I guess, to just be like, okay, yeah, but with what we have learned within the last 10, just take 10 years, it's really hard to uncouple some of that behavior with what comes with a certain level of power, and not understanding that, like, this is the system is designed for y'all, right? So it isn't like all of a sudden there's going to be a humongous flood of 28-year-old sexual coercion cases going through Multnomah County. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what's about to happen. Y'all see 15 powerful people over 15 years get caught up and you like, they coming for me. In what regard? In what regard? Like, that's not a thing. They're not coming for you. And what you could do is change your behavior moving forward. They're not about to look at you at the 6th grade dance or the freshman whatever.
But if they are, what should you be doing? If you feel as though because here's the thing, right? Maybe they are coming for you.
Well, they're not. I hear you.
Yeah. Maybe at this point, now that people are understanding what coercion looks like, there was someone from your past that's like, hey, you did a thing.
Yeah.
This has been reframed for me in a way that I understand that you did a thing. I'm not. So if you know that you've already had this in your past, maybe the thing to do is address it. Maybe get in front of it.
That's another very much easier said than done.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, absolutely. Absolutely much easier said than done.
Folks that are that proactive with the things they did to come out and say, hold me responsible.
If you're concerned.
If anybody watches this show, last week, Ambush gave us a life hack that he used about reading out loud. But I honestly think it goes to your point. Mm-hmm. Be the first to volunteer.
Boom.
And you have a little bit more control.
Boom. That's it.
Which is not my selling point to you about having control. It's more about you are no longer sitting there with the angst, right? And you're not sitting there going, I wonder if this thing's ever going to happen to me. And getting in front of it doesn't look like going to the police and saying, I think I did a thing when I was 17, or I think I did a thing 2 weeks ago and I didn't know that it was a thing. No one's saying that. Maybe reach out to the person.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Maybe, and with zero expectation on your end of them forgiving you, or making your life easier, or anything like that. Just like, whoa, I just learned this thing. I think that sounds like what we went through, and I didn't know that that was inappropriate. And that person may say, I never even felt a way.
Yeah.
Or they might say, wow, never expected this message from 7 years ago or whatever. Thank you for doing that.
Right.
They may not respond to you. You don't get to control the response, but you do get to control how you handle any situation that is causing you that kind of stress. If you look at something like this and you're like, damn, I definitely did that. That's how I moved.
Yeah.
Which is most folk. And the reason I say that is no matter what your cultural impact was, it was painted in patriarchy's image. Mm-hmm. No matter what the thing was. Mm-hmm. No matter. So like, there's going to be things that I can see as, ooh, that's fucked up and that should never happen. And And then there will be things like coercion where I was like, that's just what you do, right?
That's just how it was done, right?
I never even, like when that story came out, I keep saying this, so sorry if you've heard this a million times, but when the Aziz story happened, Ambush was like, this is bad. And I was like, is it? It seems like.
It's pretty normal to me.
And I don't mean, is it like this girl is making a big deal of nothing? It made me sit with, wait. Yikes.
Right.
Yikes. Wait, that's a lot of my experiences.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that I now feel that I need to tell the world that this is not me being like, I'm a victim and I need to talk to those people who did those things to me. Which if that's you, that's you. No.
Sure,
shame.
Absolutely.
But where it put me was just, yay. That is, it's universal. Right. It's everywhere.
Right.
It's every single place you turn, you are being that is being reinforced in some way, shape, form, or fashion that that's normal. Mm-hmm. And that's just the dance you do. And that's wild. But more than anything, it's not the dance you do. And it's not the dance you have to do. And you don't have to be involved in that. And if it were me being a perpetrator of those things, I would certainly want to reevaluate the way that I move forward. Mm-hmm. Way less about having to put yourself in some sort of jail for the things that you have done when you didn't know you were doing a thing. And way more about changing your behavior moving forward and talking to the people that you grew up with doing the same thing and saying, I think that maybe wasn't right. And then maybe you teach the people that are younger than you.
Right.
Because right now there's not enough of the train them up with the new information that you have. It's very much, well, that wasn't no big deal in my day. And what? In some people's day, lynchings were happening. Was that no biggie?
Right.
A cultural norm does not mean it's right. It being legal doesn't mean that it's right, doesn't mean that it's ethical. Like all of the things that have been legal in this country previously. When you think about the fact that there was no such thing as graping your spouse.
Right.
Huh?
Wowzers.
I mean, that's in this lifetime. That's in right now. That Donald Trump used that as a defense to the accusation of his previous wife. You can't do that to the wife. That's my property. That's into now. That's not, hundreds of years ago. Like, at some point, we got to recognize that treating each other better was never a part of the agenda, and we have to change that.
I feel like that might be on the books in some states, though.
That you can't?
That you can't rape your wife. Yeah.
Maybe. You know?
I feel like it might be.
Does it matter in a certain state where the police believe that anyway, and they're not going to take up your case, and they're not going to make an arrest?
Jamie, could you check and see what states it's legal to rape your wife still?
Flat out. It doesn't even matter. For a lot of places, if something is or isn't illegal, it is who is enforcing those laws. And what do they think about it? Because all of a sudden, laws on the books. I mean, there are police officers right now that will try and hem you up because you flip them off, because you say, fuck you. That's not illegal.
Right.
But Tim is going to tell you, you can't do that, okay? Right. And actually, I'm taking you in. Tim is still going to be a fucking police officer the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that, and you may no longer have to deal with this trumped up charge that then got dropped and all the things, but did you get arrested or did Tim get arrested?
Right.
Like, there's got to be a point where we understand that these structures and these different arms of oppressive systems are consistently working at all times on purpose. Division is the purpose, is the point. Mm-hmm. Having people in a hierarchy is the point. So much so, and so confusing, that white women just figured out they were the original DEI hire. So much so that you have disabled people who need ramps everywhere saying, get rid of the DEI, as if
that's so crazy.
Someone like Donald Trump or Elon Musk is going to make sure that you have a way in and out of a building? Be fucking for real. In no way are they about to ensure that someone they don't even think should be here has any sort of special accommodation when it should not be special. It should be normal. Because do people exist that don't have the ability to do X, then they should have the ability to do X, right? It shouldn't even need to be a designation. But the way that we live and the way that these systems are designed, you have to. You absolutely have to categorize every single body for as many things as you fucking can, so that we can be mad at each other in perpetuity and never look at the powerful white dudes behind the curtain. And I don't know how many different movies you need to see about that. It's the entirety of American culture, I think.
Speaking of movies you need to see.
Segue.
Yeah? Captain America, Brave New World.
That is not the name of the movie.
It is.
It is called Falcon Man, America's Captain. Which camera? Because Falcon Man, America's Captain. Please now continue on.
Fine. I saw a tweet somewhere similar, something to the effect of, what was it? Endgame created fans within the MCU that don't deserve the current MCU. And I saw a post from, I think her name is Joker. I can't remember her full Instagram name. Sis is nice with it, though.
Harley Quinn's wife. Right? I mean, never mind.
Yeah.
Messed up my joke. Moving on.
But no, she was pointing out, like, and it was something we talked about a little bit earlier, too, how this urge to kind of reset and return to what, everyone knew was the norm before, pre-DEI. Like, all these companies are rolling back. Looking at the initial backlash to this new Captain America film, like, MCU fans are terrible. Let me just be 100% about that. MCU fans are terrible. However, and this isn't me, This isn't me trying to say anything weird or, be dishonest. Star Wars fans are worse. As someone who is part of both fandoms, Star Wars fans are worse, bro.
Which is hard to understand.
It's like,
because the MCU fans are that bad.
Yeah, it's like PS5 or PS Live, PlayStation Live, and then the Xbox Live. There's people over on Xbox Live. It's a no man's land over there.
Oh, okay.
You just pop up and people are just calling you the N-word just because you just shits and giggles.
Well, you probably shouldn't have a picture of yourself. What were you wearing? My fault.
My fault. I showed up too hip-hop on camera. Anyways.
Yeah, that was it.
So, yeah, like... There were so many MCU fans that you can start to see now, you guys aren't comic fans. You're just MCU fans. Because it's like, oh, DEI Captain America. They're race switching. He literally becomes Captain America in the comics. Like, what is like, please, just leave us alone. Let the things happen. Let the universe play out. Right? Let it play out. So, the film releases. And I believe the Rotten Tomato score is 54. 54%.
That's great.
Then you started seeing
Falcon,
the scores from the critics. I mean, from the viewers. That was like in the 80s, low 80s. And a lot of the people that were able to see it early, see the screenings, they were like, okay, this movie is far from horrible. It's actually really good. It's not the best thing they've done, which is, I don't know why we keep going after this. Can we just get a good story? Everything will not be Endgame. Everything will not be Infinity War. Everything will not be Winter Soldier. I mean, few things can be, right? There's only one. There's only one.
What up, Bucky?
Hey. So it's like, what are we doing here? But I remember tweeting, I was like, yeah, I'm embracing myself for the YouTube content creators that I follow when it comes to, fantasy stuff. Embracing myself to hear them be like, I wonder why it's getting such negative press. We don't understand it. Why are people responding to it so negative? Racism.
No.
And I really need you guys to be more comfortable with just saying MCU fans. It's a large percentage of them that are just effing racist.
I won't have it.
Well, it's here.
This is a post-racial nation, okay? Thank you, Obama.
Hey, Joy. She said, I'm late, but I made it.
Hey! Hi, Joy. Yeah. How you doing? This is a post-racial nation. We have nothing. What are you talking about? There are no upset fans simply because there is a little race swapping going on in the MCU. That America's captain is now a bleak,
Listen, let me tell you something.
And it's not even a Black Panther.
Let me tell you something.
Hard to believe.
Tell you something right now.
Yeah. And it's Anthony Mackie.
I am not a huge Anthony Mackie fan. I'm not.
Except for when he's Falcon Man.
That's it. I'm not a huge Anthony Mackie fan. My man stepped up. Killed it. Ooh. Absolutely killed it in this film. It was amazing. So many great things happen in this film. It's setting up so much moving forward.
What we'll do is leave you the space to do a proper no spoiler review.
Nah, it's not happening. I'm doing a spoiler review. It's good. It's going to be an episode of a podcast has no name. Look forward to that. Also going to be doing a breakdown on this whole rage baiting around fantasy content. A plug for that, but it's definitely happened. I think it'll be my first video essay. Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I want to see. Yeah. I can't wait for your long form content. That will be very
boom. Fun. But in any event, go see this film. It's great. The numbers are just increasing. It's the second highest grossing Captain America film. So within that franchise, that franchise within the franchise, it's no longer a trilogy. It's 4 of them. What do you call those?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Just what do you call it when it's 4 films?
Quadrilogy.
Quadrilogy. You just got to be able to pronounce it with confidence.
That's it.
It's the
just make it
second highest grossing within the quadrilogy.
That is how you say it.
I was close.
You nailed it.
I was close.
Quadradry. Did it.
Yeah.
I got to go back in time just a touch because Michelle said, and the most original DEI hires were the white men given handouts of stolen land to help displace and kill the people already here.
Damn.
And ding, 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 ding. Sonic rings everywhere. Just all the awards. Correct.
Nah, that's real talk. That's real talk.
Also, she said, yes, long form ambush.
Come on. We're doing it.
Yeah, we're really just in this position of all of these things keep showing us that we can't collectively learn a lesson to save our fucking lives. And I'm tired. Like, it would be really cool if we could, at some point, take some of this information that we continue to use and apply it to this dire scenarios that we are currently living with under. Yes, I am fear-mongering.
Listen, I'm a truther. So, come on, let's get to it, right?
Break early. I'm not sitting next to you.
I'm a mother effing truther. Let's go.
I don't even know what that means in this day and age.
Here's the thing, and that's cute that you would say that. You actually do know what it means. And it's that fear of my truth.
Oh.
That has you acting like you don't know what it means.
This is correct.
Huh?
You're likely right. I am scared.
On. Is this real? Is the real you? Are you a clone? Let's find out. On the break, I'll double check.
I wonder how we'll find out.
Oh, well, I can't tell you on camera because then they'll come after me.
Also that.
Yeah. That's why we broadcast from my basement. It's a bunker.
Oh.
You know? Listen, the world is crumbling around us.
What I want you to do is spend the next 4 minutes doing your absolute level best conspiracy theory.
I need prep. I can't come off the top.
All right.
Yeah, I need prep for that.
Fair enough. All right. We don't need to make this an improv show.
Not yet.
That's fair.
Not yet. Not yet. Yeah. I do want to...
my dad is calling me if anybody is...
Well, you're broadcasting, right?
That's happening right there.
Come on.
You know? One of these days, I'll answer that call.
I was just about to say that. You're going to have to at some point. The fans are going to want it. They're looking for Nick to call you during the show.
What's funny is I made the joke after I told them, okay, I got to pack it up. I'm getting ready. Head over. Got the show tonight. Oh, that's tonight. Still Monday.
Still Mondays.
Bree says, don't worry, I'll call you tonight. And I was like, great, definitely, because my phone misses the rings during the time it's not supposed to happen.
Hilarious.
P-Town just said, hi, Pops. Hi, P-Town.
What up, Solo?
Yeah, like this is a it's a perfect timing for my break to be able to call him back and say, what in the world? Like,
well, if you want to go on break.
And a whole joke or truth that is carried over from one podcast to the next.
Yes. No matter what, if you're podcasting, you're getting a call.
Doesn't matter the day.
I was going to regale our homies with our great time at Abbey Creek.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it before break.
So good.
Yeah.
Okay. Picture this. Ambush gets a text message.
Yeah.
I'm over here. Ambush gets a text message from Bertoni, the owner and founder of Abbey Creek. And he's like, what are you doing for Valentine's Day? And I'm like, shit, I don't have anything planned.
As his partner, cool. Neat.
But
amazing.
But if a client's texting me, that means I might be a little busy and it might work out. So he's like, all right, doing the Valentine's Day dinner at the Crick. At the Crick. You know, and I'm thinking about doing this hip hop trivia thing. And I'm like, wait a minute. Count me in. So then we meet on Wednesday. We go over a list of songs. So the way the game was set up, I play the sample. You guess the song that uses the sample. You also get extra points if you know the name and the name of the artist and the actual name of the song sample.
The original sample.
The original sample. So we picked like 4 warm-up joints, just to like let people understand the vibe. Then there was 5 rounds. And then we actually had some other songs and samples set up for bonus rounds in case there are, ties that need to be broken and things of that nature. So now it's coming up. But at the same time of Valentine's Day, what is also fastly approaching?
Snowmageddon.
Snowmageddon.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
I don't know.
Right.
It didn't happen. So, it happened.
Yeah.
It just wasn't it's not a get-in or a apocalyptic event, like, so as much as I want to be like, Snowmageddon, it was more like, Schnur, or something like that.
Yeah. We got a covering.
It was definitely a covering, and the overnight gave us an extra blanket.
You know what was funny?
I'm a fan. I love this now.
Shout out to P-Town.
I don't shovel it.
P-Town was giving us updates.
Because
we were
Thursday.
Right, we were in the station when the snow started.
0 windows.
And then P-Town kept sending photos, and it was like, oh, okay, a little coverage. Oh, my God, it's a blanket.
Yeah,
a little blanket, a little sheet.
In that hour and a half,
yeah,
we definitely had there was a covering that she was able to show us.
Yeah. So that pushed the Valentine's night dinner to Saturday.
Yeah.
Boom.
Which worked out pretty good for my entourage.
Yeah.
Which
L&J of L&J Industries.
Of L&J Industries.
Right.
Wanted to participate, but it was sold out.
Yeah.
Which, again, shout out to Abby Creek for selling out their entire event. But
he said it sold out in 48 hours.
Yeah.
It's crap.
Which, that's people not even knowing how fun it was.
Right.
Let's skip to how fun this was real quick. As a person who, what's it called? Just a patron. I was just a patron. I had no parts. Do you want to tell?
You were accused of having parts.
I was going to say, do you want to?
So each table was split into teams. Each team had to pick their team name.
I've been exonerated.
Had to pick their team name. Morgan's team consisted of Morgan, Lily, John, Janita, and her husband, John.
Yes.
And they chose a name, TV Off.
Obviously.
For the name of their team. All right?
We won everything.
There were also some other good names out there.
There were
Mad Villain?
Mad Villain. Something Regulators. Missed the beginning of the Regulators team. There was a team that said they were going to go with the name Runners Up, which they should have because they lost. But they also were like, Runners Up probably isn't as accurate. I think we didn't win even a round. And I was like, next time, aspirational.
Yeah. Shoot for the stars. So, again, really dope names. Now we're starting the battle. And I don't say the battle. We're starting the trivia game. And
it's a battle.
To some, it definitely was.
Okay.
And Bertoni's hosting. And he identifies for the rest of the room that on the team, the TV Off team, is the partner of the DJ.
Yeah.
So immediately people are like,
very
it's
much
rigged.
accusatorily.
Yeah.
Bertoni. Which drew the crowd's ire against me.
Yeah.
You know?
It put you in a place. Put you in quite the pickle.
A real deal of a pickle, if you will, was me having to explain I am no cheater.
Yeah.
But more specifically, I don't cheat at things I know I'll win off rip. Like, I don't have to worry about that. I don't need to know what he's going to play. I do this on my own. No, I am not a DJ, but I am a
music enthusiast.
Hugely.
Yeah. Audio visionary.
If you will.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not confident in a lot, but my music knowledge, baby, you can't touch me.
And that was literally what I had to explain to the audience. I had to remove myself from the DJ booth and take center stage and say, all right.
To be clear.
To be clear. There was a moment when I was working on the last, couple of songs for this, and she walked in the room, and I paused it, and I accused her, jokingly,
of all things,
of trying to cheat and listen in on the samples. And her response to me was like, I don't need to cheat at a game that I know I'm going to win.
I just don't.
And
this is dominoes, baby.
It went over like gangbusters in there. It went over like gangbusters.
My strategy is solid.
Yeah. It didn't make it seem any weirder when their team won, but yeah.
We knew all the samples.
Yeah, it was really good. It was a great time. It was a great time. So we're definitely looking, Bertoni and crew are definitely looking to start doing this more often. So if you see it on my Instagram, me posting the flyer for it, just know, get in quick.
Time.
It will sell out.
Let me just give you this real fast.
Oh, yeah.
It's a whole time. Yes, it's kind of far if you are in Portland. Worth it.
Mm-hmm. 25-minute drive.
Get a ride if you can. Let's carpool.
Mm-hmm.
There is a brunch style version of this happening in March.
On the 15th.
I think the 15th. maybe. We'll come back to that. Yeah. We will post it. This is not, I mean, he doesn't need any help selling it out. It sold out in 2 days, in 48 hours without any major, effort. So it's not like I'm thinking no one will be there. Right. What I'm saying is if you want to be there, be quick.
Yeah, get on it.
And it was super fun. Like, I haven't been out and just had a night, and the day leading up to was looking like I wasn't going to have a night.
Man.
It was, we'll talk more about that after the break.
Tumultuous.
But getting to have a fun night out with people, and, thankfully I wasn't there by myself in the way of just sitting next to the DJ booth or something. Like, I actually got to participate and have fun and sit with my peoples and, like, have a wonderful time. Do that if you can.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yeah. The brunch is
and I love
March
to
16th.
win, and so I'd love to win in front of you if you'll be there, Next round.
Yeah.
Let's go.
The brunch is indeed March 16th.
Boom.
So as soon as we get more information on that, boom, we'll make sure we post it.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing night.
So much fun.
You guys had lobster and steak. I'm allergic to shellfish.
Okay. Food was banging.
There we go.
Food was banging. Coursed meal.
Yeah.
Got some bubbles in the beginning, a welcome bubbles. Can't have that, so pass that off to Lily. And then she gave me her glass of rosé when it came. It's a good trade-off for people that can drink champagne.
She can't have champagne because of her migraines.
Then a coursed meal, soup, full thing,
lobster
dessert.
bisque.
The lobster bisque was banging. I am not a lobster fan. It tastes basically like nothing and usually is chewy like a rubber band. Banging.
Right. I asked you about it that night. I was like, how was the lobster? You was like, yo.
I was like, I don't know what steak Diane is. Is that like some shit that goes on top or what? And kind of like there's mushrooms, sausage friend, but then there was also lobster pieces, and I've never had lobster and steak because I don't know.
A poor.
I
just wanted to be able to say it.
And you certainly, if you're a good poor, you don't buy those kind of things like with an EBT.
You can't go buying lobster with Snap.
Then that would be fraud.
Why?
Because that's not food.
How dare
apparently.
you? How dare you?
Maybe lobster or shellfish or steak is liquor.
The nerve.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it marijuana? Cannabis? Cocaine.
Yeah. So the food was great.
Food was banging.
Food was amazing. Service was amazing.
Wonderful wine. Service was incredible.
The ambiance, the whole vibe of the spot.
Not just a small business, and the family is working the business. This is also a small business supporting other small businesses.
Right.
And linking up. One, I'm sitting there. I happened to look over at the bar and I was like, is that Great Notion beer? That looks like Great Notion beer.
Yeah.
And it was. Go into the bathroom, go to wash my hands. Is that Mr. OK's Essential Soap in my hand? Am I in my own bathroom?
Both friends of the show.
Huge friends of family of the show.
Family of the show.
Like, we get to participate as hosts for My People's Market, which has put us in community with a lot of small business owners throughout the city.
Facts.
Each one of those business owners we were already connected to outside of My People's Market, but to see those three, like, this is me fully removed in the way of I hadn't been to the North Plains Abbey Creek. This was my first time, and walking in there and seeing other local businesses a part of it, not like even, it's not highlighted. It's not like, look at our local beer. Look at our local hand soap. Look at our local, like, it's none of that. It's just, that's their baseline.
Right.
Fucking with it hard.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, break. We are 10 minutes past break. And that means I take a 20-minute break.
Well.
Oh, that's not what that means?
No.
Okay.
That's not what that means. Also, we're on time for break because we started 10 minutes late.
We have done a wonderful job of keeping time tonight, friends. The entire crew knows what's happening, with the exception of me. Which is normal.
All right, so you guys sit tight. We will catch you in 10 minutes.
7:50.
Going to jump into these stories and see if I can get us on Instagram.
See you in 10.
All right, see you in 10. And we are back. Thank you so much for hanging out with us during the break. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends, hit the comments, remain active in the chat. You guys should be keeping each other company during the breaks. Do all the things. But yeah, so gonna jump into the next story. MJ's gonna be joining us in a few. Local story. Providence agrees to resume negotiation with striking nurses. So after 39 days on strike, nearly 5,000 nurses at 7 Providence hospitals in Oregon may be one step closer to a resolution as hospital officials have agreed to return to negotiations with the Oregon Nurses Association. Also, real quick, shout out to everybody on Instagram. We're finally successful on Instagram, so I'm happy about that. The decision comes after increasing pressure from public officials, including 11 members of the Portland City Council, who urged Providence to return to the bargaining table. Mediation sessions are scheduled for Tuesday and Wednesday. The nurses' strike, which began January 10th, is the largest in Oregon's history. The union is pushing for increased wages and improved workplace safety conditions, citing concerns about staffing shortages and burnout. Bargaining had been at a standstill for 2 weeks before Monday's announcement. In a letter signed by 11 council members, Portland's elected officials emphasized the impact of the prolonged strike on the community. The well-being of our entire community is at stake, the letter stated. This is both a public health and public safety concern. The letter reflects the new city council's strong pro-labor stance, as all 12 members received endorsements from labor groups during their campaigns. One councilor, Eric Zimmerman, chose to issue a separate, more forceful letter criticizing Providence's handling of negotiations. Providence leadership needs to support workers in our community as one of the largest healthcare systems in our community. Zimmerman wrote, "It's long overdue. Other elected officials, including Oregon Governor Tina Kotek and the state's 7 Democratic congressional representatives, have also pressured Providence to resolve the dispute." This marks the latest show of support from Portland City Council for labor unions in January. The council unanimously voted to reverse a complaint filed by the previous administration against the city's largest employee union, American Federation of State, County and Municipal Employees Local 189. So, off the rip, this is amazing that city council is really pushing for this. Need to step up, do your job. Let's get back to the negotiation table and get people back to work. Amazing. I'm very, very happy to see these type of things coming from city council. And again, this is the new expanded city council. With 3 people per district. The people have spoken, and now the people are in place. I love it. Pro labor. Let's go. Let's absolutely go.
I'm hopeful.
Well, I love that you're hopeful.
I love that the city council is pushing for that. We should be putting pressure on Providence to do what they're supposed to do legally.
Right.
To get back to the negotiating table, and the amount of money that they are spending in order not to is some wild stuff.
Right.
And I'm hopeful that moves the needle. I'll say that.
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking about Medicaid and Medicare, how this should radicalize you. You got that lined up. Did you want to jump into that?
Yeah. I think that I have explained I am currently in that place in life where my parents are aging, my elders are aging, all at the same time. And there's something to be said about still raising children and then being responsible for your parents that I think that, is starting to be a conversation, but certainly no one prepared me for this. This was not something that I thought I needed to be prepared for or prepared in any way. But I'm consistently learning in this process of my elders aging and needing more assistance, and in a way that cannot happen from just a family member or two, you know? We have nearly no safety net for our elderly people. And what we do have barely keeps them out of poverty. And it's sort of just to keep you out of poverty. You know what I mean? It's just enough that maybe you're not homeless. But there is no real, I think that there's a misunderstanding about what Medicare and Medicaid are and what they do and what is covered. And then it's the other stuff, Ambush. Then it's finding out that this is just capitalism at its true finest, in the way that, like, small example, if you have a loved one who needs to go into a care facility of any sort, who needs around-the-clock care or assistance, depending on their level of needs is what should should play a factor into what is covered and where they go and all of those things, right?
Absolutely.
Well, in true American fashion, if you are if you have a lot of needs, a smaller, more focused adult care home is likely what is best for your needs. These larger care facilities are usually tiered in some way. So on the first floor, it's the most independent that those folks are. Second, you're going to need multiple assistance throughout the day, but you don't need someone with you at all times. And, and then there's going to be the people that you are in charge of their everything, right?
Right.
Larger care facilities receive $15,000 from Medicaid per resident.
Okay.
Smaller care homes receive $2,300. That person could have the same exact needs. That person could have more needs.
Smaller facilities that have less resources.
Yes.
Receive
less funding. 6
times less.
I'm happy that you're good at math. Yes.
That's crazy.
Not only do they receive that little amount, if there are exceptions, if this person is coming to you and they need things that you don't already have, and so you need a little extra from Medicaid or, to facilitate this person's stay, they have to apply for that. Which I guess would be cool if those larger places weren't also applying for that. And the lobbying that has been done by these larger care facilities that have 50 residents at these medium-sized ones, 100 residents plus at the larger ones, where you've got 25 people that equal $15,000 a piece on one floor, 25 people on another floor, and then maybe 10 on the other floor that don't need as much help. All of these people are the same dollar amount.
That's wild.
This is the kind of thing that it shouldn't just radicalize you in what in the fuck is this system doing? It should also radicalize you in the way of what is care? What is care for someone who can no longer care for themselves, right? Like, it cannot just be bringing a person their meds and Jell-O and being like, bye. It cannot be drugging them so much that they are zombies and being like, bye. There isn't a there isn't an ability in these larger care facilities, and this is not me saying that there aren't people that work there that wish it were different, but but truths are truths.
Right.
You cannot care for people in the way that they need to be cared for on a large scale like that with no staff.
Right.
So all of these places are running with the smallest amount of staff that they absolutely, like, that is federally regulated.
Because that's how they save money.
Simply, and it isn't saving money. It is making profit.
Yeah.
And there's a big fucking difference between saving money and making profit. This isn't a small business trying to figure out how to save money for their next marketing push. This is, we have money.
Right.
We are making millions of dollars per year, and we sure as shit do not spend it on our residents.
No.
We sure as shit do not spend it on our staff. There are hotels that have taken over this model of adult care home. Because now you can just have these people in here and call it a day.
Mm-hmm. Brooke just hopped in.
Brooke.
She said, I'm just jumping in here late, just getting back from my mom's assisted living facility. I have thoughts on this matter and grateful for the topic. I will say this, though. Hearing that amount that they're making, it brings to mind another story that I believe we covered either on a Thursday show or just something that came across our radar and we were just like blown away. How some of these facilities, like there are people that are coming into people's homes and like saying, oh, hey, you know, or they got released from the hospital. And then it's like, oh, we need you in this facility. This is part of your care. So you're going to do six weeks with us in this facility. And then, you know, when you're ready to go home, it will send you on home.
And then they don't go.
And then they don't go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I was like, wait, what? And there were like family members like, you're drugging my mom. She doesn't need to be here. You're basically holding her hostage, drugging her each week.
And I think there's terrible places in any form of, in any system that you're going to have, right? Like there's going to be good places and bad places. And that's unfortunate. And that's what happens when your regulation is based upon lobbying dollars. Mm-hmm. But I think that there's a lot of people who don't understand that our healthcare system is in fact based on lobbying dollars, and which means it's based on making profit for any other industry within that. So, you know, health insurance and long-term care facilities and assisted living care facilities. The amount of money that they are able to charge for assisted living, which is supposed to be independent plus, you know, like there's the assisted living, which is for folks who are still independent in a lot of ways, but maybe you need the light cleaning of your place and you need meals and help with your meds. Right? There are other people in assisted living scenarios where they need help going to the bathroom and showering and all of those things. And they differentiate at different places in different ways. If what you are to understand is that no matter the level of needs a person has, based on their eligibility for Medicare and Medicaid, the amount of dollars, no matter their need, is the same. And if their need is a little more specialized, like my aunt has vascular dementia, which is not the same as a slower onset of dementia, right? Like this is night and day. One day she knew all the things and the next day she didn't know all the things. In that scenario, she is not in a position, she is a retired person who is receiving Social Security after having worked her entire life. Social Security is like, yeah, so Medicare covers this stuff, but also Medicare will come back. When she dies, if you sell her house, we will come looking for that money. A system that you have paid into your entire working life should not come after you in death, is my thought. And when we look at the way that these things are funded, you have Elon Musk and every person who will not ever need to know what the benefit of Social Security even is, and who certainly barely fucking pay into the system. You have those people telling you what is corrupt and how much money should be there and this, and that these things should make money. Not everything is a business, obviously. And at some point, we got to be fucking for real about how government isn't one. Government isn't supposed to make a profit. That isn't the point. The point isn't that they become the richest nation based on the way they treat the fucking people, right? Like that's not what you learned at any point. In any point of your schooling where you told the point is to actually make a profit off of your dumbass. Nobody said that. But right. That's the only point of every single one of these systems, is to continue to make profit off of people's backs, not their own, right. Not by paying people enough money to live. None of that can happen in order for them to become the powerful billionaires that they are. Right. So for a powerful billionaire, the richest man in the world right now, which money isn't fucking real anyway, so I don't even know what to do with this. But like, that guy gets to run in and say, 880 million going to Medicaid seems suspect to me. Now this bitch is saying there's more Social Security numbers that are eligible than there are people. And that makes the numbnuts go nuts.
Go completely wild.
And if you could just for a fucking second, I don't even know what class it is that you missed that day, that helps get you to understand. Hearing the one thing means more thing underneath it. Like, hearing that there are more eligible Social Security numbers than there are people living means absolutely fucking nothing. You shouldn't even be like, whoa, that's concerning. It literally means, do you think that those dead Social Security numbers are then receiving Medicare?
Right.
Do you think those dead Social Security numbers are receiving money? And how about this? Try this one on for size. If there was somebody receiving the benefit of someone else's Social Security, does it amount to the exploitation that has to occur in order for one person to amass so much wealth that it causes homelessness around the globe? Like, let's be fucking for real at some point. We cannot get caught up in this dummy's distractions. This is a system he'll never need to use. This is a system that he doesn't pay into. Tax avoiders are not giving two shits about what happens when it's time for them to retire. They have multiple trust funds for that. They have multiple offshore accounts for that. They have been not paying taxes for so long that they're good money. But for someone like that to come in and say they're going to assess the systems that we rely on, all to find out that them same hoes been lobbying this shit for so long that system doesn't even fucking work for us in the first place? Like, we are fucked. There's no other thing around it. I don't mean to sound like Alex Jones. I hope I don't. But we're fucked. And when I look at this and see just how like easily manipulated we are because of how many different places we are in, not just society, but in our journeys of learning and all of those things. When I understand that, it still doesn't make me feel any better about what this outcome looks like. No one told me I would have to take care of my parents at the same time as I'm putting kids through college. Like, that wasn't a thing. And I don't know that had they told me that, I would even understand what that meant. And so I want to be real clear. I am dealing with multiple aging loved ones at the same time who need various levels of care, who have various levels of insurance and so, right? Like, none of it aligns. None of it is about care. None of it is making sure that we're okay. Because under capitalism, you don't give a fuck if someone's fine. You give a fuck if they can produce, and if they can't, they're dead to you. And that's just not the reality for me and my family, right? And I doubt that it's the reality of you and yours. Someone that you really care about is no longer a producer, so they just don't get to live? Seems wrong to me. Seems in many cultures, you take care of the people that are aging, and you make sure that those people don't have to do any of the things that they have done for their entire life. Here, we don't give a fuck. Be homeless. I don't care. But as my dad is getting to the point where he doesn't remember shit, I'm not okay with him just like having nowhere to be.
Yeah.
I'm not okay. Like, Medicare doesn't allow you. There's different shit. So, to be clear, if I wanted to be my dad's caregiver, Social Security would not pay me for that. Because I am his immediate descendant. My dad doesn't have any other kids. So, sucks to be him. And I don't have any biological children. So, sucks to be me.
Right.
I don't have a way to take care of him to make sure that he's fine in home. That's not possible. So I have to find a different place. I never want them to live somewhere else. I want them to be independent. They are not in a position to be independent. And when you pay into a system your entire life, these people are hella old. You know how long they've been paying into this stuff? Like, my dad's about to be 80 years old. He's been working since forever. And it means barely fucking nothing. Barely nothing. My mom was an entrepreneur for almost 40 years. Means fucking nothing. Like, it should absolutely radicalize us to understand that these systems aren't even fucking here for us for real. And now there's people that are ruining that. Sorry.
Right. I don't think there's an apology necessary.
Like, some of this shit is funny to be like, there's a 19-year-old inside of the Treasury. And like, that's wild and can be laughed at. And then it's like, this same person who still somehow has the trust of too many fucking people, who is only like, okay, let me move forward a little bit. Because there's this weird ass rhetoric, this narrative that like a billionaire doesn't fucking want your money. And that Elon Musk and his group running up into these places he's a billionaire. What would he want your money for? Mm-hmm. Right? You think he didn't take nothing from fucking you to get that billion already? You think it didn't take extracting that from other people in order for him to have it already? So like, in what regard do you think that person doesn't want more of your money? This bitch is the biggest welfare queen we've ever seen. Real shit.
Are you a billionaire welfare queen?
That's how you become it. That's how you sustain it. You cannot continue to, like, you cannot continue to make money in the same ways that you made the day before all the time. You know, yesterday's price ain't today's price. Elon Musk is one of the most benefiting people from government contracts, period. Multiple businesses.
Facts.
He was already promised nearly $1 billion in tax cuts. And what does he go look for off rip? $880 million from Medicaid. Do you think that money just goes back to the federal coffers that they're so concerned about? Or are they trying to pay for the things they said they were going to give the wealthy people? Are they trying to pay the people back that paid for them to be in power? You cannot listen to the people who are being the most corrupt in your face talk about corruption if they aren't putting that fucking thumb in their own face. It is absolutely corrupt what is happening. This entire administration is corrupt. How many fucking billionaires are a part of it? How many people do you need to see that have never been a part of the life that you live? being in charge of it. And as Black people, it is very easy to say there is nothing to be worried about. When has it ever been fucking different than this?
Right.
It's very easy to get to sit in that. Y'all can be up in arms about some shit that we've been living in forever. But the fact of the matter is, the federal government is being gutted by like 4 billionaires and a fake billionaire.
Right. Right.
Gutted. So for all of the things that we talk about that could happen next time, there may not be a next time. Again, not fear-mongering. Watching what's happening. If you think that the people that don't give 2 fucks about laws on any given Sunday all of a sudden care now, after they own everything, including most of the Supreme Court, a whole nother thing coming. Those bitches are not about to do the right thing, and they certainly don't give a fuck about your law. At all. Laws apply to those commoners, yeah?
And Democrats.
And barely them. Barely the distinction. I mean, you're commoner.
Yeah.
Everything they told you about George Soros, he's doing right now. I'm not hearing anything about, whoa, must be the Soros of the right? Like, you don't, none of that shit. All of the lies they were throwing out there, he's literally doing it. Ooh. It's always an admission. It's always projection. And I don't want us getting caught up in the bullshit of like the Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America or Gulf of nobody gives a fuck, because that is the silliest thing to think about when they are saying no more Department of Education.
Yeah.
Who the fuck needs that?
C said, what Black folks need to understand is that when they get a cold, we get the flu.
Hello.
That one hit different.
That absolutely. Shout out to C's for that one.
That hit heavy. Because that's just real shit. This is the thing that I'm trying.
I'm trying to get to the point where we understand. I can understand us not being up in arms because every day can be up in arms. But you haven't seen this before.
Right.
You actually haven't lived through this. Not this. Not exactly this. Not with this much access to the information. Not with being able to see it in real time. We have not done that. We've had to rely on history books to get it right later. And right now, our history isn't even being written correctly as it happens.
As it's being erased. As proper history is being erased. Current history
folks
is
don't
not
even
being
remember the things that happened 2 years ago. Folks don't have anything to say about all of the voter suppression that happened. These bitches are still asking where Kamala is. I'm sorry.
Nice segue. Do you remember when I talked about that woman that leads the National Archives and how she was changing things to make sure, people, Republicans, people on the right will feel more comfortable when they visit the archives. So we removed that picture of MLK and replaced it with Elvis meeting Nixon. Do you remember? It was yeah.
Sorry, it takes me a little.
I meant to update you guys on that. Trump fired her. Got her right on out of there.
Listen, I'm tired of a DEI hire. Okay?
You know why?
Get these bitches out of here.
You know why he fired her?
Why?
Because he didn't hire her.
Oh, well, hey.
So no matter all the work she's been doing on his behalf, it earned you nothing.
To that point,
right on out
did you happen to see the person who was trying to send him a letter to thank it or to ask for their job back?
What?
After a federal employee who was fired.
Uh-huh.
Let me see if I can find it real fast. They were fired and pulled I found it.
Oh, God.
Hello, sir. I am one of the probationary employees terminated by the Doge team at 9 p.m. last night, February 14th.
The Doge team.
I voted for you, sir, 3 times, and I still support you. I was encouraged by the Doge. Should we leave it there? The Doge?
The Doge.
It says that multiple times. I was encouraged by the Doge to see they were getting rid of wasteful government spending. I support that too. My termination letter said I was being let go for performance reasons. I know that's not true. I am an excellent employee.
Oh, wow.
I've been with the federal government for almost 16 years. 16 years in June. I had started my career with the USDA, transferred to DHS, and recently came back to USDA because it's such a great agency to work for. Surely that must count for something to you. I'm loyal, and I firmly believe that the work I do at USDA APHIS PPQ employee is vital and important. My boss, his boss, the managers in the neighboring states all agree I'm doing an excellent job and that I'm a great asset to the team. I'm the only blank in the state of Kentucky, and my work here is valued and honorable. Each time I voted for you, it was because I knew you would make things... Sorry.
What?
Because I knew you would make things right and you'd fix the wrongs. I'm counting on you now to make this right, too. I'm pleading with you to reinstate my employment and give me back my job, please. Mr. President, thank you.
I'm surprised he didn't take that and run with it. Like, see, people want to work for me. I'm great.
I mean, maybe if he would have ever been made aware that he's getting these kind of fucking letters, but you think that made it to him? Do you know who his aides are? Do you know who's in charge over there?
Terrible.
Do you think it matters that you voted for him and then, let's make sure that your job is safe? Loyalty does not mean the same thing to him as you think it does. And if it means to you, I voted for you and I should get to keep my job, L-O-fucking-L.
Right.
You don't get to make decisions for a fascist.
Yeah, you're not even part of the conversation.
You're not a part of the conversation. Yeah. You are a peon in every way and every sense of the word. And I don't mean this to be disrespectful to you. It's just what he means.
Some level setting, Just understand what the environment is.
He don't give two fucks about you. Whether you voted for him or not, that hoe was out here this last time saying, don't vote for me, I already got it. You think he cares? They don't care. He don't even fucking like Elon. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell these things aren't things. They are situational relationships.
Mans should be embarrassed to say I voted for you.
1,000%. If the person that you voted for, because they right the wrongs, made you to be the wrong, bitch. Huh?
But
I'm coming out, not only am I swinging, but I'm saying, well, oh, wait, I got fucking duped.
Exactly.
And the amount of people that have too much pride to say the thing that you got duped by a billionaire. Ain't that what's supposed to fucking happen? They're smarter than you, right?
So back to your earlier question. Where is Kamala? I saw... I'm glad my shit's landing tonight. It's fucking awesome, bro.
You're on fire.
So I saw a tweet last week from one fashion inspiration, Kimberly.
I wonder what that means.
Kimberly, well...
I'm just going to let you know my laptop died.
Oh, take this. Yeah, you're good to go.
Great.
So Kimberly says, Kamala and Tim, where are you?
Ooh.
You filled stadiums, built a movement.
Hold on, don't Tim got a job?
Yeah, he's a busy guy. He's going back to doing great work. It says, Kamala and Tim, where are you? You filled stadiums, built a movement, and raised the war chest to fight. Now, when the battle is here, you've gone quiet.
What?
Posts don't matter. Presence does. This isn't the time to step back.
Where?
Lead, mobilize, ignite the resistance. Fill stadiums again. Turn silence into a roar. We're ready. Are you?
This is stupid.
So someone responds, shout out to Tabitha Speaks Politics. Tabitha says, former Madam VP Kamala Harris is now a private citizen and owes you nothing. And Governor Tim Walz is working hard for and protecting the people in the state. What are you and your fellow white men and women doing besides posting online? The whole...
Literally zero.
You raised a war chest.
I will spit in this bro's face.
Time to mobilize. This is not the time to step back. Mobilize what? I will tell you. Fill stadiums again. Turn the silence into a roar.
What's her name? Tiffany does fashion?
No. Kimberly.
Kimberly does fashion?
Fashion's inspired by Kimberly.
Great. Babe. Girly to girly. The fuck is you on? Let's be serious.
What do you want about?
Are you looking for her and him or the Democratic whoever to be sending you a please give me $25 fucking text right now so I can mobilize against fascism?
Yo.
All for them to throw a fucking rally in a stadium, which means dick?
Yo, that's literally the last
That's what you want?
That's the last thing
I don't want my money. I'm sorry. I'm yelling.
No.
I am screaming.
No, that's literally the last thing I want.
No, but that is what you are asking for.
Right.
If you have the fucking unmitigated gall to ask where two people who didn't win an election are. What are you talking about? Kamala Harris is a fucking private citizen. You don't get a government position to fix it when you are no longer the vice president. Huh. There's no, whoop, you just fit right in here to this regulatory role. Like, you don't have she's unemployed. What?
This really does speak to what a section of the citizenry is actually not just used to, but what they really want, as opposed to just action, right?
They want performance.
Right. So she's like, yeah, I need to feel better about where we are, which is on the way to hell. So why don't you get out there? Let's get some stadiums filled so we can rally and make false promises and bring Hakeem Jeffries up and whoever the hell else to raise our spirits, because then that does what? That does what? Like, you're addicted to the performance so much so you're denying the reality that's in front of you right now. That's crazy. And then we're seeing similar things happen with Representative Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett is getting all of the performative praise right now that Kamala got when Kamala was doing the same thing when she was a senator.
Right.
And I want to be real clear. Shout out to Jasmine Crockett. She continues to show up, show out, and not bite her tongue. No, she's biting her tongue.
She's biting her tongue.
No, she's biting the shit out of her tongue. But what she is able to deliver is a clear message with a solid read within there.
Right.
What I now understand, not now, what I understand is there are white people that absolutely love the performance of Black women dressing someone down. Y'all love it. When I say y'all, that's for who it applies to.
When your action,
you don't be a hit dog hollerer.
When your activism stops, it peaks at performance.
When your activism stops at a Black woman you're willing to listen to and believe in, when your activism stops there, your activism never started.
But so to that point, I'm saying, as the person who is celebrating this level of activism, if their own activism stops at performance alone.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm saying.
I guess we just said the same thing.
Okay. If their own activism is nothing past performance, then this is Olympic.
This is peak.
Yeah, this is Olympic shit that they're seeing right now. This is how we make change. This is how I make change. And I post and retweet.
And I want to be clear that your post and your retweet don't mean shit outside of your bubble, even when it goes viral.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just as much as Jasmine is going to continue to go viral for saying the truth out loud. Yeah. Because too many people won't say the truth out loud. So then she becomes the champion that y'all want to make your new avatar for political movement. We have lived this too many fucking times. We know what this country actually means when it comes to Black women. So I don't want to hear shit about, is she going to be eligible? Could she be the...
Why? You're not going to vote for her? You're not going to vote
You're not going to vote for her.
Don't get her all wrong.
More than anything, you're not going to give money to the campaign that means Jasmine Crockett for president. Save it. Second of all, LOL at the next presidency. I mean, why do you think that that's a given?
No, real talk. Real talk.
Why do you think that we're about to just survive 4 years and get right back to normalcy? This bitch been talking about a third term since he had his first term.
Right. C said we need the orchestra playing while the Titanic is sinking. That's what needs to be happening right
We are
now.
literally in that bad of a way because we are back. It's a reset. If y'all don't remember y'all being so pumped over Kamala when she was a senator.
Yo, Kamala was killing it.
Y'all was talking about her being president so much that bitch ran for it and she lost. And I'm not talking about this last time.
Right.
I don't mean that, but the bitch is non-gender. I don't mean it enough.
Yeah.
But I mean, you put the battery in people's backs who have no shot. Because all of a sudden, you have an imagination that still goes fucking nowhere, and you think that the peak of progressivism is a black woman leading this country.
Which this country's not ready for.
Could be the peak of progressivism. Is it going to happen soon? Absolutely fucking not. And is it going to happen without some sort of actual revolution? For certain, never. We are not in a position to even, from the jump of Kamala running, I was like, this is silly.
Yeah.
This country's not voting for a black woman. Then they even said she's not even black, guys. We can't vote for this bitch. What?
Is she even really black?
Is she even really black? Is she even really a woman? I guess she's also Michelle Obama. And then this, and then that. Like, you will find every fucking... Is she black because she married a white man?
Right. How can she be pro-black if she married a white man? She
certainly can't be black if she married a white man.
How can she relate to our issues? Her partner is white. How silly. And there was that moment as part of the performance early on, everybody for Kamala, the calls were happening, the posters. It seemed like, holy shit. For a split second, holy shit. Could this actually happen? We were eating humble pie for a little bit there. I was like, I did not expect, neither of us expected the amount of support that she got.
I think that there's something to be said about naming every one of your supporters. Men for Trump. Mm-hmm. Actors white men for Kamala, black women for Kamala, white women for Kamala. Like you're making it so that there's so many buckets of people for Kamala when really it ends up being a fucking handful of people on a Zoom call. 300 white men on a Zoom call of a country of 334 million ain't enough, bro. 3,000 ain't enough.
Yeah.
But everybody else gets a label except for the people that support Trump. You are a black for Trump, a Latino for Trump, a Muslim for Trump, white people for Trump, or MAGA. Explain it.
Just MAGA.
Explain it.
Just MAGA.
It ain't whites for Trump. It ain't farmers for Trump. It ain't bankers for Trump. You know what I'm saying? It's MAGA. Y'all get a completely fucking different name. Everybody else gets to be lumped into whatever the fuck they were the day that they were born.
Right.
Like everything is upside down. But more importantly, do not lose the plot. For all of the division and for all of the things, the only way we make this out is solidarity with each other. It is certainly never looking for a billionaire to bail us out. They will not do it. If we are looking for people to do the right thing, they have already shown us they don't know what that is. You absolutely cannot ethically become a billionaire. You cannot do it. So if at some point you are looking for that person to take care of or make sure that other people who are fucking starving don't do that anymore, wrong way.
Right.
That money must be clawed back. And what they're doing right now is making sure we don't even have an option to claw it back. Because if they take the money from the federal government and go, whoopsie doodles, not here anymore, don't know what to tell you, can't print more money, what are you going to do? The amount of people who will very quickly realize that they were nowhere near close to being one of those people in a position of power and nowhere near being having a seat on the jet to Mars will be destitute. And everything that I want, make sure that even those who want me destitute don't become destitute. And I wish that there was a level of understanding that we collectively had that puts us in a position And we are so close to really understanding what class solidarity looks like and that all of these different divisions are just that. That you really have no reason to be mad at anybody else. Anybody who is within your, that you can see with your
tax
eyes.
bracket, within your,
but
within your level of the caste system. I was
going to say that. It's not even your tax bracket, because people that are 3, 4, 5 tax brackets above you are still 2,800 below a billionaire.
Yeah.
It's not that many, but you know what I mean. They are being a millionaire. They are still closer to broke than they are closer to a billionaire. And we have lost the fucking plot. And we, at some point, just don't know that that's what this game is. And that it's an actual thing, that there is a system that is making sure that in order for a very small handful of people to be, and let me be clear, when I say small handful, there's not even 3,000 billionaires, right? But we have, I don't know, how many laws were introduced about trans athletes when there's like 34, there is less than 40.
Right.
College trans athletes that are a part of the NCAA, which has 500,000 athletes.
Bruh.
34. And there have been hundreds. I think the number is actually like 1,400 anti-trans bills.
Jeez.
I just want to make sure that I'm right. And that's in a very short amount of time.
That's wild.
I'll get there. From 2021 to 2024, over 1,400 anti-transgender bills were introduced, with at least 50 becoming law. When I talk about a distraction, tell me that ain't a fucking distraction. How many anti-billionaire bills have been introduced and implemented? How many wealth inequality bills are doing a thing?
Right.
You don't get to ask where Kamala is when she was not elected. You do not get to ask where Tim Walz is when he's busy being the governor of Minnesota. You do not get to ask where Bernie Sanders is when he's continued to run for president, but also a senator from Vermont. Like, these are people, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. If Kamala had her hand in the government the way that Elon does right now, it'd be burn the fucking witch.
Yep.
How does she get credentialed? How did she get in there? But when I see that the Democrats are able to get stopped by some random fucking man with no uniform, no badge, no nothing, no weapon, no nothing at the Department of Education, and he could just say, y'all can't come in here? Bitch, are you serious?
That was the craziest.
There's a gang of y'all.
That was the craziest shit I'd ever seen.
If it's me and 10 people, do you think you could stop me? Like, baby, LOL.
It was like 50
There's a hella of them, and you are elected officials, and this man who is probably a fucking volunteer.
Who you've never seen before. Who's never has have a badge, nothing.
Fam could be getting paid in peanuts.
Right.
And he's so pumped to suck some dick from Elon or Trump or whatever. Sorry, fix that. My bad. It's past our time, so I don't know how to act anymore. I've said a lot of curse words tonight, but I didn't say that. Now here we are.
Well, yeah.
But you're so ready to handle that scandal,
right?
That you have the confidence of a billionaire to stand out there and be like, y'all can't come in here. I wish I fucking would be told that. If you don't get out of my face, Taco Bell, I'm not even a little bit. You are not a cashier anywhere. I recognize no authority. Like, what are you talking about?
I look at you, I do not see authority.
Your name is I don't care. Move.
Yeah.
Your name is get out of the way. You like, why the fuck someone didn't push him? Like, I'm sorry. The violence is the answer sometimes.
I'm about to say, excuse me?
I was going to say, it's not violent to, but okay, that can be. I was having a moment in my head.
We're on the YouTubes. We're not on We're not on dealing with any FCC stuff. So I'm gonna just be crystal clear. People like to romanticize revolution.
Oh, this makes it even worse.
Okay, people love to romanticize revolution. If you don't understand that violence is involved in that, chill out. Just chill all the way the fuck out. And what we're talking about isn't even, you're not saying someone needs to throw a Molotov cocktail at the door. We're just saying you, sir, up against 50 or 60 people out here, scoosh them. Just push them to the...
I can't even imagine.
Push them to the side real quick. Act like you're trying to grab something and you're out shopping and someone's about to beat you to the last, I don't know, loaf of Hawaiian bread. You just the little.
You know what's wild though? We see more violence and whatever on a Black fucking Friday for people to get a $400 TV than those elected officials getting in a building they're supposed to fucking be in
to save us.
I am absolutely done seeing those people tell us what is happening and it must stop without you doing shit to stop it. I don't work there.
Right.
What's my clearance? This hoe has all my information now. Can y'all take it back? No.
Nope.
Does it help me to hear you, who does have the same, you get to walk into the same buildings that they do. Does it help me to see that you're like, guys, help, this is happening? No. Unless you are doing what are y'all doing? Like when we talk about revolution, it isn't just like we're gonna storm the Capitol. It's these elected officials do not ever get elected again unless they are changing the ways that they handle what government is.
Right.
But when you are in a system of oppression, and I am not expecting each of these politicians to be able to do it on their own, but you standing out there collectively, letting one person tell you no, I'm confused.
Right.
I have literally seen more pushback to get basketballs at Nike. This is the education department. These bitches want to shut everything down. All of it. So that they can pocket it. So I want to just be real quick while we wrap. Like, we cannot lose the plot that billionaires absolutely do, in fact, want to steal your money. How they've been doing that the entire time. That's how they become billionaires, is exploitation. It is by not paying taxes.
Right.
It is by making it impossible for other people to live. It is by forcing you to have 3 jobs. If you think the person who thinks that it seems legit for parents to work 3 jobs, adults, we can take parents out of it, but that you, it's okay that you work 3 jobs. That makes sense. Seems legit. Work 3 full-time jobs. And now you can maybe buy a house one day. Like, those are the people that will never have to ever work a job. And if you think that Elon is working jobs at all of these different companies that he owns, baby.
Not a chance.
Baby.
Not a chance.
Not only are the things that he has just taken over, he has never created a thing. He has only bought into or bought it. He has never created anything. This is not a person who created electric cars. He didn't create a Tesla. He bought it. And then he was able to do, in the transfer of ownership, able to call himself a founder legally in a lawsuit. Not because he ever was a founder. Mm-hmm. These are things that are easily understandable, but it doesn't matter if what we have always been taught is that if you're a billionaire, you are the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, the best. These are big old fucking dummies that could not in any way relate to the group of people that they are trying to govern, let alone an entire country full. And understand that someone like Elon Musk, who has shown himself to be a white supremacist, an absolute fascist, totally fine with genocide, someone who believes in eugenics, there are no excuses to be made for this man. There are no well, but maybe. Nah. Do not fall into some rabbit hole that allows you to believe that you can be, that autism causes racism, because that ain't what the fuck is real.
Right. Shout out to Iconic Dreams on Twitch.
Yeah.
So the issue is need to make, working one job like sustainable. Need to make that a thing.
Imagine that.
Imagine.
Would be so cool. Would break into too many profits, And I don't know how we'll sustain those handfuls of shareholders that continue to want to rake in money hand over fist for doing absolutely nothing, but having had enough money to buy some shares.
Correct.
I do want to just a couple of things in the chat. Brooke said Elon Musk is a real life Bond villain, which is 1,000% true.
Absolutely.
I will say shout out to Jasmine Crockett for the way that she did a certain thing. She was like, whoa, y'all MAGAs, you got me. I said y'all were wrong. I said immigrants are not coming here and taking our jobs or taking our money. Appears that Elon Musk, an immigrant, is stealing all of our money. Y'all were 1,000% right.
He's doing both, guys. Taking jobs and money.
I'm super here for those moments. I am not here for Chuck Schumer saying we're going to call our bill Stop the Steal. I want better for all of us. Nobody should be, anybody over retirement age, in my opinion, who has been in the same position for 40 years, should have been gone. And if you worked at Fred Meyer, they would have retired you a long time ago.
Easily.
Last thing I want to say, we are going to talk about, because there's developing news about Bonneville Power here and how many employees federally have been let go. Right now, it's close to 20% of the workforce, which means 200 employees took the payout offer from them, which who knows if that'll ever be a thing. And they just fired 100 more today, I think. And there were already 90 people who weren't asked back. And there's a lot. That's just the Pacific Northwest federal power source that feeds the rest of our utilities. And it's funny because in LA or in California, they'll talk about brownouts and planned power outages, and people just deal with that there. And that is not something that within the city we are used to by any stretch. What I learned today is a planned power outage is certainly not the same as an unplanned one.
Right. A black or a brownout.
And it doesn't have the same cost associated with it. And if you are able to plan for it, a little bit better. However, heavily reducing your workforce because savings, and by savings we mean profit to go to, they still won't say, it's not like they're saying, with all of these savings, here's what we'll do. With all of this cut spending, here's what we'll do.
It means more contracts for Elon.
It literally means more contracts for Elon. Apple and Starlink are leaking up. I don't know how that makes you feel, but it makes me want to throw every Apple product I have literally out the door this very second. I don't want any more of that in my things. But does it even matter? Yeah.
C said if they're already on their knees and he's just a billionaire, what are they going to do when he becomes the first trillionaire?
Right.
I know.
Well, I think they're going to celebrate.
They're going to they're going to lay it on down.
Cake, I think. Yeah. Cake for them.
Listen.
As they tell us that, biggest, fastest, strongest, and it would never,
They're going to go to the store, buy themselves something they look cute in, something nice. Order that man's favorite dinner and wait home for him. That's what they're going to do. They're going to lay it on down.
Well, he'll never come home to them. So he just had his 85th child. He's got a different shield to look after him now. I will just offer that I did appreciate that whichever number of kid that one was in the Oval Office. Because quite the flex by Elon to walk in there looking like Elon Musk into the Oval Office, which does in fact have like a dress code and all of those things you're supposed to care when you respect the office or something like that. But his little 4-year-old being like, shut your fucking mouth up and you're not the president, go away. I just want to say I appreciate that kid for telling on his daddy.
You're not the president, go away. If we can get some Dems to say that, that'd be cool.
It wouldn't fucking matter.
No, it just, it'd be all right. Say that to Elon. You're not the president, go away.
To end this episode sweetly, we have to keep our eye on the ball.
Yeah.
And that means you have to remember things that you learn and move them carrying forward. Elon Musk is a fraud. He has been able to amass this much wealth by exploiting people and stealing it. That's it. And government contracts. That means he's stealing from us. That means he's telling us that things that we pay into that are for us, that's fraud. Right. Not his Starlink contracts, not Jeff Bezos's contracts, not Meta's contract. Like none of those things are fraud. None of those things are bad, or even, and take fraud out of it and just make it an expenditure that shouldn't be ours.
Right.
They are welfare queens telling you that you shouldn't be able to eat a steak if you wanted to. Like, we really gotta remember who is doing what and why.
Right.
Do not get caught up in the fact that you think that that person is dope, Jay-Z. And don't get caught up in the fact that you think that because that black billionaire is black, that means that they're any less a billionaire. Don't get caught up in the fact that Elon Musk once, said something cool on a podcast or smoked some weed, so he's edgy. Mm. He does not think that you are human and doesn't care about what happens to you.
Mm-mm. Quick note, I found out today, because of this one, Selena Gomez is a billionaire. And you guys are probably like, Ambush, how are you the last one to know this? Like, I don't know. This wasn't in my orbit. I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, Selena Gomez? Selena Gomez? Like, Only Murders in the Building? Selena Gomez? A billionaire?
And when you know her from Only Murders in the Building, I think that, sure, you would think that. You would be confused. Oh,
mind blown. Jess, mind blown. This is what I'm saying. And it's from makeup. Wow. Friggin' awesome. And not like friggin' awesome, like, woo, you made it, billionaire. Friggin' awesome, like, it's just like, wow, interesting thing to know. I just found out. Listen, maybe she's fighting crime on the low.
I want you to stop it.
Okay. All right, fine. All right, get to the
She's not that Selena, okay?
Ooh.
I pay attention.
Points. That was nice. That's why we're together. All right, wrap it on up. Listen, your love for the same entertainment that I love. Come on, that plays a factor.
I do, and I do.
That plays a factor.
I do love it.
Yeah. Wow.
I just want you to not want to be Batman. So that's another episode of News with My Fiance. Monday Night Raw, live in person, live raw in the books. Me and my braids. Thank you for spending this quality time with us.
Yeah. What's your favorite one?
Braid?
Yeah.
I think this one.
The one I did?
Okay. Ambush did none of these braids.
I did 2 of them. This episode was made... 2 Lies crew.
Oh!
That's what I do.
And now we're back.
Yeah.
Okay.
This episode was made possible by our in-studio crew, Ross,
Jess,
and our one Jess, and our remote quality control crew,
Kyle of Residual Audio, and Michelle, making sure we're doing it every single week.
And I want to add to that, PDX Brown on IG and Iconic Dreams over in Twitch, letting us know, hey man, looking great, can't hear a thing. Looking great, the audio's a little out of sync. But then things got made better. Because of their
shout out to Cam for hitting us up on there.
Because of their information, they let us know.
I love it.
And we made the adjustments. Yes.
Thanks,
also,
y'all.
Shout out to our studio sponsors, L&J Industries, for providing this dope space each week. And of course, big thanks to you all for watching, listening, and staying engaged with us.
Stay engaged with us all week. Please follow us on IG at News with My Fiance. Follow Ambush at ScamBeezy. And follow me at Portland Morgan. Become a member at Patreon. Sock it to our pockets. Patreon.com/News with My Fiance. Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're going to thank all of our
patrons,
members. Yes, the patrons.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, we got a new patron. And it was wild.
It was.
Out of nowhere. And as a person who is in charge of my parents' finances, I have no idea how my mother became a member of our... I don't know how she made it to Patreon. I don't know how she picked a level. I don't know how she put a card in. At this point, I have no idea what's going on.
Facts.
But shout out to my mama because she's a member now.
Yes.
Way to go, Sheriff Bear.
Unbelievable. I don't even know how she found it. It was awesome.
I literally have no clue.
But yes.
It's much like when she posts a story with music. I'm like, how'd we get here, Tupac?
Right.
Like you chose.
Right.
Only God can judge you, huh? That's tight. I really don't think she knows that song.
Cher, what are you doing?
What are you doing? And it's a picture of her coffee table. So, hey, we doing things around here.
This is real. It's real. It really happened.
I love you, mommy.
Yes. But shout out to our patrons at the paid level. Ross, Michelle, Ella, Sherry, Katie. Shout out.
The growing list, I think when we get to like 15 people,
mm-hmm.
It's going to have to be a flash on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm boom.
I'm waiting to get to be like the Vanguard, where it's like 17 pages of...
The Vanguard is killing it.
Shout out to the Vanguard.
Yeah,
they're doing
straight up.
Doing it.
Popping. Shout out to Megan. She joined at the free level.
Shout out to Megan!
Megs. But y'all know what it is, man. Don't let the individuals distract you from the systems. Poverty is a policy choice. People over profits. Power to the people. None of us are free until we are all free. Check us out Thursday morning, 7:30 to 9:06. PST on X-Ray FM. And until then, y'all stay safe and
be good to each other.
Yeah.
Don't aspire to be a billionaire. Love you. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. And you can catch this show streaming live on YouTube every Monday night from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And our podcast episodes are available everywhere you listen to podcasts except Spotify.